A bit flimsy. Just like the last video, I said I have a small install for the car. So what I have planned today is I got a Cobb short shifter. What that is, I mean, it's really in the name. It's a short shifter. It makes the shifting a lot much faster. It gets to the point because, well, I mean, I really don't know how to explain it any way else that this just shortens the distance between each gear that you're shifting into. There's really no other way to explain it. It's so simple, and it's also really simple just to install. So I was already messing with this before, as you can see. So this pops off right here. Gotta take off this really quick though, just like that. Before I got this, my shifter had too much play. You can push it all the way to the left, all the way to the right, and if it was in gear, you can really just like do a full circle. But that was because of the bushings right here. The bushings right here, one was missing on one side while the other one was completely just torn apart. Like you see all this blue right here? That's all. This is just the remainder of that bushing. I already have a new set of bushings in there, so it's all set to go. While I was researching the Cobb shifter, what I do have to do other than just replacing this right here, this metal plate, have to cut a piece of this metal out because this fork basically lifts up and it basically gets too close to this piece of metal right here. So I have to just cut away a little bit, basically just a small triangle, and it should be all good to go. It's just held in by 4 bolts right there, and that's it. So let me pop that out and go cut that away. A little choppy. Yes, I cut myself a few times. Don't worry about it. A little bit choppy, but this is all I needed. I think it was a good triangle right there, if I remember. That's gone now. I'll forget about this, to be honest. I mean, I'm not going to see it at all. Let's get this back in, and we can basically just throw in the shifter. The plate's back in. As you can see, all that clearance is good and cleared. Wanted to show the difference between the stock shifter and the short shifter. When you look at the actual ball point right here, since it is shorter, just imagine the shifter going back, forth, compared to how long it is. You have a longer entryway into each gear, while this one, being as short as it is, just connects right in and out, just making the connection a lot much faster. So I'm just gonna get the ball point lubed up a little bit, that way it moves a little bit more easier in the joint, and we'll put everything back together, including the bushings, and really that's it. Probably one of the easiest installs you can ever do. To be honest, I was not expecting how short this was actually gonna be. Now, well, I mean, I just have to put on the shift boot back on, loosen this up so I can make it a little bit taller. It's a little bit short for what I'm used to. And also I want to look into getting a new shift knob because, well, of course, that is just a beat up baseball basically. I have in mind a shop that I've been watching. I like what they've been doing, and I think I'm gonna probably order something from them pretty soon. But that's basically it. I'm gonna get the shift boot on, show you what it, I mean, it's not really gonna make a difference of what it looks like, but I'll just put everything back together so it's a little bit cleaner in here. Got the shift boot on, but what I did notice is when I was actually testing it, I noticed I was hitting the bottom, so I had to adjust it. I actually didn't show it when I was looking over the shifter, but if you actually notice, there's three Allen wrench screws in there, basically the top, middle, and bottom. To adjust the knob threads, you would actually loosen the top 2, then that would slide up and down until you tighten them. If you wanted to adjust the actual shift points, or not the shift points, but just how high it sits at the bottom, you adjust the middle and the bottom screws. So I had to do that because I noticed when I was trying to go into 2nd and 4th, it would kind of stop hitting this piece and a little bit inside where there's a few plastic parts. But I adjusted that, it's all good to go now. Fortunately, I cannot test it on the road because, as I said, we have a blown head gasket and that has to be replaced before I even think about driving this anymore. So this sits again. Doesn't mean we can't do things to it though. But that's the end of this first parts. I am joined by the more suited man to drive this car because he actually vapes and not me. But I'll see you guys in the next part of the video, which I don't even know what's gonna be yet, so. Since that last clip of the Subaru, I no longer have it in my possession. Why? Because it is currently at a shop here being worked on. What happened after that clip of the short shifter being installed was basically me coming to terms with head gasket failures, sending it to a shop nearby, them doing a few tests and confirming it. And after confirming it, I was able to talk to one of my managers from my store. He told me about this shop, Patterson Performance here, and them specializing in WRXs, I decided to send it to them. It's there right now right now the engine is out. They just sent the heads to get machined, cleaned up, and also the valves and springs to get cleaned up as well. So that's being done as we speak. Another thing that did come across when they took apart the motor was the cylinders. They are pretty rough, starting to show some signs where they need to be just rehoned. But what Rigo, the guy who works on the engines there, he says that it can still run, but it might have issues later on. So right now, he recommended a full rebuild, which personally I could not do. I just told him let's stick with the head gaskets. He said that's fine, it can run, it just might be a problem later on. With me, I said that's fine, let's just get it done. So that's being done right now. I probably won't see the Subaru for another, well, I can stop by the shop anytime. He says I'm more than welcome to come by, see the progress of it, but as far as it coming back to the channel, might be another 2 to 3 weeks, because he said mostly it's the machine shop. They said they take their time and it might be a week or two before they finish it up, before they finish the heads. So it might be a while, so we're short a car. One's dying, one's locking gears. This is fun. But that's the fun of building a car, really. So I'm gonna end off the video with that. Just want to give you a heads up on where the Subaru is. If you want to keep up with all of that's not being recorded and posted, follow me on social media like Instagram and Snapchat. That's really all I have. Snapchat is where you're gonna see a lot of it. I might stop by the shop a few more times just to see how it is, and in about maybe 2 to 3 weeks we'll see it back. So for right now, I'll end off the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you follow Isaac Valentine. Link will be in the description. And that's really it. Nothing else. Subaru is gone. Jeep's dying. And I'll be bored. I'll be inside playing some World War II. Peace. Stay chillin'.